Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday, the 12th of May. Looking at the euro dollar first, and well, yesterday we caught the daily 21. Now, that daily 21 has been tested just about before, so I was wondering whether it would break through, and there is still a potential for it to move through today. Still looking at this monthly pivot and the gap that's below there is a potential for a more fuller retrace. Now, of course, well, we have slowed down over the last couple of days, not very big movements relative to what we've seen so far, but it could, well, um, obviously we are seeing a bounce already off of that daily 21. Now, so it's how long that bounce will last for, really. But if it breaks that daily 8, um, well, we could be on for a sort of a bigger retracement to the upside. If it holds below it, I mean, it's in a bit of a pinch between the 8 and the 21 there at the moment. I think that whichever way it goes may give us a bit more idea of direction. For now, though, you can see on the 4 hourly a bit bitty. Yesterday coming down, spitting down to that low, putting the doji in, pulling back up, and since then it's not really given us a lot of clue. And when you look at this, I had to squeeze it up a little bit there just to give you a cleaner picture of what's going on here. And yesterday it went from post to post in effect. It went from the R1 down to the S1. It's relatively rare. Although the pivots were pinched, which gave it a better opportunity to do so. We could see the same sort of thing happening again today. It's setting itself up as if it wants to, as if there could be a potential continuation from this low yesterday to the upside there. Now, as I said, if it starts breaking above this the R20, which is the R1, the 100 MA on here, that'll probably be equivalent somewhere near that daily 8, and well, we'll probably push on through them. If it can hold on down here, and I'm really looking again on the bearish side, and if it can roll through the lows here, which is a badly drawn line there, but it's easier just to leave it for now. If it can break that level, I'm bearish again, and we'll be looking at a continuation down towards yesterday's low, the S1, and it's not far from there. Then when we start running into, he says, squeezing up a little bit more into the monthly pivots. Okay, that's the euro. Let's come back and let's have a look at the cable, the pound dollar. Well, the pound dollar, it's got a bit more out of its choppy picture this week. I mean, it put the double top in yet on the 10th. It's sold off again since yesterday, and it's put a pivot swing in here. So a break of the lows would be a bigger, even a more bearish signal. It had put a pivot swing the other way last week, and it just sort of didn't have the legs in it to push any further. Which, with that divergence, it's double divergence. Sorry, it's double divergence. It was double divergence when it pops back up on the 10th, but now it is looking like well, there's possible it could still roll over. 4 hourly bearish flag probably, and as I say, it's just held in on its weekly S1 there. When you come down to the hourlies, it's a bit more choppy, a bit more difficult to read yet. I mean, you just got to be patient with these markets this morning, just with the same as the euro, and just see what it sets up this morning. So, one of the questions I was asked the other day is, why do I wait until after 8 o'clock? Well, part of that is because the amount of false breakouts and odd moves that we see up until that time. And what I'm looking for is the bigger part of the market. If I can just come back with the example, we traded the euro yesterday, and we traded, and what I wanted was the bigger movement. Let me just push that over there. We shorted into this R1 with some other indicators which had given it as an overbought inflection point. It just suggested it was overbought at that point. But before then, I mean, it'd be up until 6 o'clock, it'd been choppy. 7 o'clock, okay, it started looking like it wanted to break out here, and then yes, it did break out. But the big part of the day, and this is where we made around about 40 pips, was this point here, and that was the main part of the day. Didn't make all of that, unfortunately, but I made a good part of it on part of the trade. And that's what we were looking to do, is get the bigger part of the day. So I wait until 8 o'clock, personally, quite a lot just after, and see what the price action's doing. Try and catch it with a bigger trend. And this one, yes, it did run on, as I say, and a bit more, but often you just get the fake out. You'll get a little break, and then it'll pull back in and completely run the opposite way. So that's why I'll wait a while. Okay, moving on. Sorry, just popped that in there because I said I'd answer that question to someone on my Twitter account. Okay, so dollar yen, putting a bit of reversal in yesterday on the dailies here. It's had such a strong move up. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some continuation potentially of that. It still hasn't come back even to the 34 or the 50. Now, a decent correction. We had the divergence at the very top there, as I said, and then it's sold off from there. Still hasn't really corrected that far. Maybe see a bigger correction back down to the 34, maybe 50. Okay, Aussie dollar. Well, Aussie dollar for me is, I mean, it's not one of the ones I'll trade in the morning sessions, and it's gone into a bit of a chop zone over the dailies. You can see in terms of the ranges are very similar. You've got these sort of this week. It has yielded some points for a couple of our traders, I know for sure. But for me, when you start getting into 4-hourly bars like this, I'm not particularly. It's not one for me to trade. It's quite difficult, quite choppy on the intraday basis. Nice trend up on Wednesday there. Thursday, well, it did give a trend up, you could argue, but it was all the chop that goes with it, so it's not really on my radar. Where will it possibly go today? Well, it's the way it's chopping at the moment. It could easily run maybe up to the R1 and then roll over. It's got an untouched daily pivot below, so or vice versa. Maybe it's a sell-off. I'd be looking at the potential for that to rally from that point, the way it's been chopping. Okay, that's the Aussie, and another chopping pair is the Canadian dollar at the moment, and I stay clear of these when they're like this. Let's just flick onto oil for a moment. Sorry, oil has been pushing back up a little bit this week and made a bit of progress from the lows of nearly $44. I mean, it's made nearly $4 back. But the Canadian dollar's not really showing that, reflecting that too much. It's got a bit of, I mean, it's just gone literally sideways on over the last few days there. And this is the problem. I mean, and this is why I leave it alone. It's not for me when it's like this. Yes, I think when you're looking at it like this, you think, well, actually, I could. It's failed to put a new high in. It could just sort of roll back on a little bit more here. And with the price of oil going up, we should see the Canadian dollar coming down. There is the potential. It's certainly got the range during the day to come down and catch this S1 area, previous near those prior lows, that sort of region, and it may well do that. It's a bit like throwing a coin when it's like this. It's trendless. So I'll stay clear of it. It does, as I say, at the moment, it looks like it may just want to roll, continue this roll over a little bit. It's doing here down towards those prior lows. With a stronger oil price, that makes sense. The oil comes off, well, that all those bets will be off, and it'll be pushing back up to its daily pivot, and maybe pushing back and retargeting those prior highs there. That's pretty much it. Only data today coming out is the inflation report coming out at 1:30. We've got the speaker at 2 o'clock. We've got Evans speaking at 2 o'clock, and we've got some prelim consumer sentiment at 3. That rarely creates much of a movement. You probably don't even notice it in the markets. The Evans is the FOMC speaker is due to participate in a panel discussion about economic conditions and monetary policy. So that in Dublin. So at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So that may get a bit of volatility kicking around there, but possibly not a great deal. Okay, have a great day. Bye for now.